Oh,
There we are. I'm back in the mix. I feel like a super sub, Fouad.
You what? You what?
You know, in England in soccer, we have the super subs, which they never really get a game. But when something needs to happen, like an impact player, come in and change the game.
Yeah, well, we were talking. I was thinking about it. Me and Paul were talking about it, and we were trying to decide what this podcast should be called.
Yeah,
and I was thinking best of the rest.
Randoms.
The best of the rest, or the third call out. I was going to call it third call out podcast.
That's good. Yeah.
I like
that was Ian's. Ian said that. Ian said third call out podcast.
I like the day shift crew.
Yeah, and then Paul said the day shift crew, like it's like the strippers. You know, they have like the day shift.
Yeah.
The ones that work Monday to Friday on salary.
You mean the fat ones?
Yeah. With a couple C-section scars.
Right. Okay. I think
you guys
super sub sounds better?
Can you guys 1 second here? Let me turn on. Is super chats on here? I gotta turn on my super chat. I don't know. I think it is. Okay. Anyway,
third call out. I'm gonna have to have a word with Ian.
So anyway, what were we gonna say? Fuck, I totally forgot. What were we talking about? Oh, the name of the podcast. What should we call it? I think best of the rest, right?
That's cool.
Does this get an invite to like events like Texas, or are we still on the sidelines for that? We've got to get the terms and conditions set out from the start.
Where did my screen? Oh wait, there's my screen. Oh, so you're saying like you want to know the contract, like what's part of the contract?
Yeah, if we're in, we're in. There's no.
So like
Milos's favorite saying was from Socrates, right? He says, if you're fucking, you got to put it all the way in, or it's not called fucking.
Is it? But is it though?
Apparently not. The tip. Well, actually, if your tip's in, I think they still class as cheating, isn't it?
If there's penetration.
Remember, we used to have a. I don't know if I should talk about this. We used to have a rule. We used to have a rule that had to be at least 3 pumps for it to count. Roman, what do you think
about the name?
No, not about the name. When does it count? Like if you're going to try and put notches on your belt, like if somebody said to you, Roman, how many girls have you slept with? And you said 50. If you wanted to get to 51, would just putting the tip in count, or would you have to put like, does it have to be full blown sex, or like when does the notch count? When does it become 51?
I think you have to mark your territory, so to speak. So you have to come.
You have to come?
Yes.
No, that's fucking crazy. No. Jamie, what do you think about that? You have to come for it to count as a number?
Yeah, you have to. You have to tag her.
No way. That means that means if you sleep with a girl and you bang for like an hour, but you don't come, that doesn't count.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling you.
I think once it's in.
Once it's in.
The first pump.
Once it's in. Yeah.
So once it's all the way in, that counts as that's it.
Yeah. Full thrust.
Yeah. Okay. If you guys go on YouTube and go to my page, you can see all the questions. If you guys want to read the questions too.
Okay.
If you go to YouTube, Roman, you probably can't because you're on your phone.
Yeah.
But and actually, Jamie, you're on your phone too. So I don't know if you guys have a laptop or anything. But Paul, you're on your laptop.
Yeah.
So if you open another screen,
you did call it best of the rest, eh?
I called the best of the rest. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't get my nipple pierced. Yeah.
So this guy said, "Congratulations on judging." So Paul just judged the Toronto Pro Show, his first pro show.
Yeah, first one that was on the panel for.
So I want to ask.
Did you vote for? Did you have Quentin or Joel in first?
Yeah,
I had Joel slightly.
Look at Roman just got disappointed. He had Quentin.
Really? Quentin looked great. You know, I was really impressed with Quentin. I just feel like he's another year or two away from filling out his frame all the way. Joel, I thought, was just a little bit more complete.
Hey guys, one sec. I just want to say something real quick for everybody, all the people on the live. I'm going to give out a code for you guys just for the people listening on the live. If you go to hostile.com and type in SUPS15, you get 15% off your order only for supplements. So it's SUPS15, SUPPS 15. You get 15% off. That's only for people listening to the live feed. We haven't advertised that anywhere else. So I just want to let you guys know that. Sorry. Okay. So Roman, you had Quint.
Yeah, I had him, although personally, and I would have liked to see. I liked seeing Joe win because we have gone back and forth on Instagram a few times already, and he's a good guy. So I like seeing him going to the Olympia.
Dane Quinn says, hello, Paul. And
I know. I read it. Hey, Dane.
What's up, Dane? Okay, but aside from like your emotional like feelings, emotional connection to Joel, what did you think, like strictly physique wise? If you didn't know anybody on the stage, did you have Joel or Quint winning?
I think I know I had Quentin for his lines.
Yeah.
And from the pictures, he looked like he was in better shape.
So that's what I asked Paul, because I told Paul from the video and from the pictures I saw, it looked like Quentin was harder and like Joel's glutes weren't as hard and stuff like that. But Paul told me that in person, Joel was harder.
When Joel flexed, you could really see how hard he was. But standing there, Quentin did look a little harder when they stood there. But when Joel flexed, shit happened. You know what I mean? Like some guys have that pop when they flex, and Joel has that. Like standing there, he looked maybe a little bit softer than Quentin, but when he hit his poses, he was striated. To me, it looked like Quentin might have been a tad flat, but I think he was fuller at the finals than he was in prejudge. It was either that or I just feel like he needs to fill up that frame a bit more. He's got a big frame, and I think he's going to be really dangerous in another year or two once he adds a little bit more muscle to that frame.
Yeah,
but he was hard. He was in great shape.
Before I give my thing, Jamie, what did you think? When you saw the show? Obviously, it was like a two-man race. So who did you have between Quint and Joel?
I think I'm the same as everyone, really. Kind of from a personal perspective, favorite-wise, I would have gone for Quinton because of his shape and his structure. But I did think that if we're judging it as a bodybuilding show, Joel would have been my pick to win.
Yeah,
just from a more complete structure standpoint.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was more of a tradition. He had more of a traditional bodybuilding physique. I thought it was tough for me to judge because I thought the same thing Roman thought. I'm like, Quint looks like he's in a little better shape. Joel looks like he's filled out his physique a little bit more. But conditioning wise, I was like, I think I got to give it to Quint. But then when Paul told me in person, it was different. And that's why it's so hard to judge these things. Like, you know, fans on Instagram or whatever trying to judge the show. It's hard if you're not there because Paul told me in person, Joel was definitely harder.
Joel was harder. He was hard as nails.
If I knew that, like if somebody said to me Joel was more conditioned, then I think I would have picked Joel to win as well.
I'm not saying Joel's more conditioned, but he was. If like Quentin might have been a couple % harder than Joel, but not much. It wasn't that much of a difference.
Yeah.
It's probably the same situation with Dorian and Flex, for example. Because if you look at pictures of Dorian in some photos, he looks like shit. Like really, he looks. And then you see Flex Wheeler next to him, and he looks great in pictures. And then when you hear people talk about the shows that have actually been there, they said it's absolutely not even a contest.
Yeah. Everybody's always said you have to see Dorian in person to really grasp what he looked like.
Yeah.
I think go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
go ahead. Say it was very close. Like Gary, the head judge, Gary Udit, he pulled them back from backstage. He wanted to see one more time. So he pulled them from backstage back out again, just the two of them, because he wanted us to take one more hard look at them. Because even like Gary, I think felt the same way as myself and Rudy too. Like we were all like, it was close. It was very close. And probably all of us at one point did shift to Quentin briefly. But then I think in the end, we were all pretty confident with the decision we made.
The crazy thing is, and I don't know who will agree with me or not, but I think Quint, his legs look crazy. I think once he adds more muscle to his torso,
Mhm.
I honestly don't think anybody can beat that kid. If he
It's gonna be
keeps,
good.
if as he's growing, he's growing, he keeps his lines all the same. Like his waist doesn't get any bigger and all that. Like if he can keep all his lines, he could literally be top 5 at the Olympia, if not Mr. Olympia. Like he's got insane shape. Like
Yeah, I think he needs thickness
it's almost
to
like
really fill out that frame.
It almost looks like a modern day Lee Haney.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
well, does he remind you of Ronnie a little bit?
What it looks
he
like?
turned natural.
You know what it looks like?
What?
It looks like an improved version of Paul Dillette.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
You think so?
Yes, without the ugly veins, and he can actually pose.
But I think Paul Dillette had more of like a long torso and then tons of muscle up top, whereas Lee Haney kind of had like a more of a V, like a Brian Buchanan, a Lee Haney. Like that's more what I see. Quint.
But Lee Haney had no calves and had worse legs.
No, but that's why I said a modern day, because modern day guys all have bigger legs, right?
Okay.
So if you imagine Lee Haney today, that's what I think Quint looks like. You know what I mean? If he can build up his upper body a little more.
Yeah.
Right? So
He has nicer abs than Lee. Lee had the gap in the abs, and he has like literally, if Quentin gets better and keeps his strong points as they are, we can all pack in.
Yeah. Like I feel like right now Quentin's a little bit limb dominant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think when he fills out that torso more his chest and back, he's going to be very
especially the back, because he's structurally such a big guy. Like I don't know if he's 6 foot or 6'1", but he's also very wide.
Yeah.
So if he can fill out the back a little more, I know it's come up a little bit, but if he can come up like, you know, man, if he could put like a, you know, this is obviously really stupid to say, but if he could put a Ronnie Coleman back on him, fuck, he would just annihilate everybody. No offense to you guys. You guys are competing, so I'm sorry, but
it's correct though. There's people out there that have got these insane genetics. If they do put everything together, it's game over for a lot of people.
How old is Quint? I think he's like in his mid to late 20s. Yeah.
I
want to say he's like 26 or something.
He turned pro as a natural.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Jamie, what's going on with you and Milos, man? How's that going? How long have you been with Milos now?
For the last month. So we literally hooked up as soon as I went to Vegas. Obviously, we'd arranged things before that, but we sorted out the plan in Vegas, sorted out the diet. He trained me 7 times, and 4 of those times was legs. Absolutely brutal, and every session was even harder than the last one. And he nearly took my cherry for being sick. Well, I've never been sick in the gym, but I was
really
close.
Really?
Yeah. I just don't know why. I'm like good at holding it down, but this day I was outside the back of Dragon's Lair, bent over Flex's wall, and I thought it was all coming out.
You held it down. You held it in though.
Hold it in. I don't know how. I think what happened was Milos actually came out with a camera and tried to record me being sick. And I think that took my mind off being sick. And I was like,
I love when guys do that.
Yeah. But no, it's been really good.
Is your training style like Milos's, or were you more like a JP, like progressive overload style?
So before I was 2 years with JP and progressive overload, heavy lifting, lower volume. I mean, I was doing like 10 working sets in a workout.
Yeah.
Big rest periods between sets, very slow. And towards the end, it did feel like something was missing. I was getting a bit bored in the sessions, and I was like, maybe it's just because I'm in prep. Wasn't getting as much of a pump. So now I've like mixed a bit of both together. Obviously gone with Milos in Vegas, and he was like obviously giant sets all out, fucking massive attack.
Yeah.
So we was discussing this when we was out there. I still think there's a big element or an important element to have the strength training in the session.
Yeah.
So that just precedes the rest of the session. We do 1 compound, heavy work, 4 sets at the start of the session, and then we'll go into volume. Not necessarily giant sets, maybe a tri-set, and then work into a bigger giant set towards the end of the session to finish it off.
That's generally how me and Paul have trained for the last 20 years. It's like We do our heaviest movement first, which I don't recommend anymore. Now I try and tell people like do something first and then do your heaviest. Like, you know, some people will sit down and do bench press first. And I feel like it's now I've realized it's a little bit dangerous to do that. So I'm like, do like a machine press and then, you know, not to failure, but do a machine press, get everything really warm, and then go into like your heaviest movement. But what you just described is pretty much what me and Paul have been doing for 20 years. We do our heaviest movement, and then we get into like more blood volume stuff for the rest of the workout.
I think it works because one thing I was doing is I was not enjoying my workouts. I was thinking, this is what we do for a living.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not enjoying it for the rest of my life. We need to, and I say to all my clients, guys, the best workout program for you is the one that you enjoy the most. So whichever method you like, if you like the logbook, because some people like having that there to look at and, you know, it's like a silent training partner almost, then we do a logbook program. If you don't like that, we would do something different. Yeah.
Me and Paul were just talking about this actually after our training session, because we're obviously changed our training. Well, actually, we haven't changed our training. We just lightened up the weights. But Roman, are you more progressive overload? I never really asked you like exactly kind of the style you train in.
I've, just like you, probably all of you, I have tried everything.
Yeah.
I have found that a mixture of a couple of training methods is, first of all, the most fun.
Yeah.
And also works the best.
Yeah.
And then what you said, for safety reasons or for longevity reasons, I start out with most of the time, I start out with a volume type movement.
Yeah.
And then I go into
more of your compound
or stuff like that. Yeah. So for example, I never deadlift first anymore.
Yeah.
It's because it doesn't help me to do 6 plates.
Yeah.
And then just hurt myself. We all do, like, for example, hamstring deadlifts. Yeah. I always do curls first, 2 variations, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I do stiff legs.
Stiff legs, yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is on legs, because I'm trying to bring my squat back up. Yeah. I have started with the barbell squat. But I warm up on the bike, and I do 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plates, 4 plates, and so on. Yeah.
What's your rest periods like? Do you train fast or slow?
Also depends on the movement.
Well, obviously for like legs, you're going to take a little bit more rest. But I mean, in general, do you kind of move a little faster, like 1 minute rest periods or 3 minute rest periods? Like what do you do on average?
So when I train with other people, I usually end up getting bored because they have to take longer rests.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when I train with people, and it happened quite often, it's like, okay, let me do 2 sets and you do 1 set.
So you like to train faster then? Yeah. So you like to train fast. Jamie, did Milos have you training on like a 1 minute kind of rest periods, or did he let you just recover fully?
After the giant set, it was take your time to recover. So it might be 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, but you're doing a giant set in between that.
Yeah, when we was in the giant set, it was literally going through it as fast as we can, to the point where in Vegas I was struggling because the air's so dry. My mouth was as dry as it could be. There's no moisture in there, so I couldn't swallow. So I was almost having a panic attack in between sets.
That happens to me.
Grabbing my drink, and I don't know how I made it through some of the ones, but yeah. You just need to get your composure back, get your breathing rate down, and then go again.
So I saw a coach online. I'm not gonna mention any names, but I saw one coach write, doing different movements is silly. You should do the same. Muscle grows by doing the same movements every week and progressing in those movements. Yeah. And I thought to myself, every single week my workouts are different. I mean, yes, some of the staples are there. Like if I'm doing legs, I usually always do some type of squat, but like, I don't know. It's like my workouts are always different. My workouts are not ever exactly the same. And I'm just worried about the weight. Like that would be I would feel like extremely bored if every week I went to the gym and every fucking exercise and everything was exactly the same every time.
Yeah. At least the order of exercises are always different.
Do you guys shuffle in exercises or shuffle around the order or like do anything like that? Or do you just do the same thing every week?
What I did for the last 2 years was it was set workouts week on week, and I'd have like a rotation 1 and a rotation 2.
Yeah.
So I'd do 1 all the way through, then 2 all the way through, back to 1. And like you say, it's repetitive, and that's where the boredom came from. So now I've got a training partner in the UK who's just as crazy as Milos.
Yeah.
And he's just calling the shots with the workouts, and it'll be like, right, we'll have a quick chat at the start. What do you want to do today? We'll choose a compound, and then we'll just go crazy and choose stuff as we go.
I mean, I think the goal is you're trying to stimulate muscle, right? Like that's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's not always, I don't feel like, a lot of people say like, oh, progressive overload is the only way and it's the best way. And it focus a lot on strength. And I'm like, I don't think there's a best way. It's like you were saying, Jamie, it's like Milos's way can work. Dorian Yates' way can work. Jay Cutler's way can work. But it's like whoever loves, it's like if you love it, you're going to do it and you're going to do it the best you can versus like, I can't do JP's workouts. To me, I would be like, and I'm not saying anything negative against them. JP's built a crazy amount of muscle. But for me personally, like I can't take a 3 or 4 minute rest. Like it's, I get bored. I'm like, and I lose focus. I have to like keep moving. Right. So I'm trying to get this like narrative out there because people always ask, well, what's better, this or that? Yeah. And I always try and tell people it's not this or that. It's whichever one is best for you. Yeah.
That's it. It's enjoyment for the most part. I think what I've found in the bodybuilding industry, like you guys have as well, over the past 5 years maybe, is it's become very evidence-based and analytical, and everyone's trying to come out with the latest, greatest method of how to do things. If you strip it back to when you first started training, when you made the most progress, you literally trained hard, ate hard, and rested hard. They're the 3 principles of what we do. There's no use for things like this. In prep, when you start buying things, I bought one of these fucking Oura rings, right? So I've worn it for 3 days.
Hey, I got
Every morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is look at my fucking phone and check how I slept. And then I'm like, well, I didn't sleep very well last night. The thing's going on sale. I've already said on Instagram, it's going on sale. I want the thing.
Get rid of it.
You should get one of these instead.
I got my Fitbit though. I like it. I like wearing
Me too. It's just a watch.
I just like to know. I just like to know how many calories I burned that day, just for my own. You know what I mean? I want to know if I burned like.
You think that's accurate?
What's that?
You think that's accurate?
Well, even if it's wrong, it's accurate.
Because mine says I burn like almost 4,000 calories a day. I don't think I burn that much.
Why not?
I don't think I do that much to burn that much. I don't know. I work out with you.
You weigh 230 pounds.
235.
You're kind of a little fat, but like you're in pretty good shape.
9%.
You weigh 230 pounds. You got a good amount of muscle. You probably, I mean, just your basic physiological needs, your NEAT every day is probably like 2,500 calories.
You think so? But I don't do any cardio at all.
Yeah, but
it just seems kind of high to me.
I don't know. But what I'm trying to say
the muscle.
But what I'm trying to say is, even if it's wrong,
that's what I think too.
But even if it's wrong, you're.
But the watch is know how much muscle I have.
But what I'm saying is, even if it's wrong, it's still measuring the same every day.
Yeah. So it's giving you like a baseline. You're saying
it's like if your scale is 5 pounds off.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it says 290 and you're really 285. You're still going to be. So you're going to know. You're going to know if you went up or down.
So you're still measuring. You're measuring your progress. You mean?
Yeah, you're measuring your progress.
You know when you're talking about lifting heavy or not? Do you think some people?
One second. Pure blood says it's impossible that it's correct, which I agree with. But like I said, it doesn't matter because it's still measuring the same every day. Whether it's
I imagine it's not 100% accurate at least.
Yeah.
But we talk about like people lifting heavy or people who like to like pump workouts more kind of.
Yeah.
Do you think some people, like based on bone structure, joint size, things like that some people just aren't meant to train heavy, or more meant to train?
Me
too, I think.
No, but why wouldn't it be? I think the strength of your tendons and ligaments and all that, I think it makes sense. Why wouldn't
the size of your joints?
That's also genetic, right? Like,
right.
Like Kelly, our powerlifter friend, he was like third in the world in natural powerlifting. His fucking knees are like this big around.
Yeah, his wrists, everything.
Like it's like I don't know. I think that's a genetic thing too. Ryan T just submitted some money, super chat money. So I'm going to ask his question. I just want to grow my shoulders and maintain everything else on my body. Any tips on how I could structure this? Love the channel. Anybody want to answer before I go ahead? Jamie, you want to take that one, or Roman?
Train shoulders every day.
I can give you my
what did you say? Train shoulders every day?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Roman.
So my philosophy on shoulders is actually they grow better with more reps and more volume. And what I always tell people is create as much pain as you can with burn and lactic acid. Yeah. And don't worry about pressing 500 pounds overhead and shit. Just side raises, rear delts, front raises, some presses too, upright rows, but hurt yourself. Make it like, for example, what I like to do is, and I have good shoulders, I think, like either drop sets all the way down the rack, or the stuff Ronnie does in his videos. Like he picks like a 30-pound dumbbell and does 30 reps, and then a 40-pound dumbbell and does 20 reps, and then a 50-pound dumbbell and 10 reps, and all that stuff. Or what Milos does, giant sets. I think that works best for shoulders. And
one of the principles is you're saying is more volume, more moderate weight, and just a lot of intensity techniques.
Yes, pain. As soon as you, that's a Milos quote. As
more pain.
Yeah, he said something like, he told me something like, as soon as you seek for as much pain as possible, and then as soon as you get to a place in the rep or in the set where the pain gets lighter, find it again.
Okay? Yeah. I would say
find the pain zone.
I would say that's great advice. I would add split wise. If you're trying to grow one muscle and not the rest, obviously you want to prioritize it. So like when I was trying to focus on my shoulders, I would do like chest and shoulders together. And then on a separate day, I would do shoulders by themselves. So I would give them one day early in the week. Like let's say Monday, I did chest and shoulders. Then I would do like back, legs, day off. And then Friday, I would do shoulders again. I might do them by themselves. I might do them by themselves, or I might do them with triceps. If I was trying to do like, if I split my legs up, I would do hamstrings again on Saturday. But like, usually I would do shoulders twice. So either by themselves or with triceps or something. But I think if you want to grow a muscle, I think frequency is important too. So more days in the gym. But obviously you can go overboard on frequency, but I think at least 2 days is necessary. So
don't quote me on that. But I think I heard Branch Warren say, or I read it in Flex magazine, so it's probably not accurate information. but I think he said that he had a shoulder. His shoulders weren't big enough, so he did 3 sets of shoulders every day, no matter what day it was, before he started his workout.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
3 sets of side raises, or 3 sets of, or no, actually, I think he did a superset of side raises and front raises. I think that was it.
Yeah, no, I've heard of guys doing stuff like that too, where they'll do like, who was it? Was it Justin Harris, Paul, that was doing like squats every day for like a month or something like that?
Yeah, he documented it. 30 days, I think.
He was doing 30 days of squats to build up his squat. And I don't know what the end result was, but I know guys do stuff like that where they like, shock the muscle. I know it's not actually shocking, but it's stimulating the muscle in a different way. So
I think he actually did legs every day, Fouad, not just squats.
Was it?
I think it was, yeah.
I can't imagine doing that. I'd be fucked up.
But they were like low volume workouts, I think, but it was for 30 days straight, I believe.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
I remember thinking, wow.
Yeah.
I want to get into really quick, since I have you on here, Paul, and you're a pro judge. I want to give you a little. You can use your expertise now for a minute. We'll see how much you can help people.
I should go put my shirt on.
Go put your judging shirt on so you can.
No, it's dirty right now. It's in the wash.
All right, so let's just try and explain to people that are watching how a bodybuilding show is judged briefly, without like making it an hour long. And then maybe we can do a more specific one at another time with just me and you. But When the guys walk out, what is the very first thing you look at? Is there one thing, or are you immediately like taking in all? Yeah, you take.
Yeah.
So first explain what is the exact criteria that you're looking at? Like what 3 or 4 or 5 things that you're looking
well,
at?
Speaking of bodybuilding specifically right now.
Yeah, let's open men's bodybuilding. Yeah.
Okay, so for bodybuilding, you're looking at muscularity, shape, conditioning.
Okay,
Mostly.
stop for a second. So muscularity, you're looking at muscle size, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Muscle size, lines, separations, striations, that all plays into that too. Which also plays into conditioning a little bit too, though.
Okay, but we don't want to confuse people, so let's try and like parse them out. So muscularity, you said muscularity includes lines. When you say lines, what does that mean?
Separations, flow, which I know are kind of vague terms. But like how the physique flows together, which
when you say lines, you're talking about the aesthetics of the physique.
Yeah, the symmetry, the aesthetics, yeah.
Well,
along with the muscularity though.
So symmetry is left to right, and in bodybuilding terms, top to bottom.
Yeah,
because I know that the definition of symmetry is just left to right, but or it's a reflection on its axis, which you can't do top to bottom. But so it would be left. So it'd be left to right. Go ahead.
Maybe a better word is balance then.
But it's both, because balance would be top to bottom, right?
Okay, then yeah.
But you are looking for symmetry left to right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're looking for lines, which is more aesthetics.
Sorry, and let me just say this too, Fouad. What is symmetry? Also front to back.
Symmetry is front to back. Well, that's more balanced too, though, because symmetry. The definition of symmetry is a mirror reflection on its axis of a line, right?
Like like whatever.
Yeah, so you're not going to do that front to back. So you're talking the balance when they do a quarter turn, their balance from front to back, and when they're standing in the front and they're standing to the back, the balance top to bottom.
Yeah.
Symmetry, you're looking left to right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's those two things. Now, muscularity though is size and then also hardness of the muscle
and development
of the muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then when you said shape, you meant more conditioning, right?
Taper, that X frame, the shoulders to the small waist.
But that goes back to aesthetics, right?
So
you are judging aesthetics in a way.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Okay, so muscularity, aesthetics, balance, which we've described, symmetry, which we've described, and then you have conditioning. Conditioning is the hardness of the muscle, body fat level,
dryness.
Dryness of the muscle, how much water they're retaining.
Yep.
So you're looking at all of these things at once.
Yep.
So when you judge a show, are you scoring who has the most of each of these things, or where someone's lacking these things?
No, that's what you got to judge in your head. Who has the best combination? Who has the fullest package of those criteria that you have in your mind? We only place people. Instead, there's no score like conditioning 10, muscularity 10. It doesn't work like that. You're just simply placing people 1 through whatever, 10, 15, whatever it is.
But based on all those criteria.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Now, like that's speaking about bodybuilding, fitness, there's other.
No, let's stay with bodybuilding because we have to clarify.
Okay, but the only thing I want to say, Fouad, I've never judged the Arnolds, obviously. And the Arnolds does score posing as well. I believe it counts for 30% of your mark, but I don't know how they build it in.
Let's not add that. I want to clarify regular bodybuilding shows. So when people are watching or they're trying to say this guy is better than that guy, I think the more hardcore fans understand what we're talking about. I think the casual fans that like bodybuilding but aren't like hardcore avid fans don't really understand how it's judged. So guys walk out and they're like, all these guys look great. I want to try and teach people kind of like what we're looking at so they can enjoy the sport more.
Yeah, right? And it does take a little bit of experience in the sport, to learn those things. I think, and that's why I think it takes years to become a good judge, I think.
So, Roman, is there anything we should parse out of that, like be more specific about? Or Jamie, do you think there's anything people generally don't understand out of those criteria that we talked about?
No, the only thing I was going to say, but you already cleared it up, is that most people get symmetry wrong. They think, oh, look at his great symmetry. And they're talking about
aesthetics.
Yeah.
Well, because
like the prettiness sort of a physique.
Yeah, a lot of people think symmetry and aesthetics go together because having perfect symmetry means you are aesthetically pleasing, but that's not true because like Nick Walker is perfectly symmetrical, but he's not an aesthetic bodybuilder.
Yeah,
He's a
good
mass
example.
monster.
Yeah,
So Nick,
Dude, any
doesn't-
fat guy can be perfectly symmetrical.
that's true
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So symmetry doesn't necessarily equal flow and aesthetics.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't want to try and confuse people more. I want to try and break it down. I want to ask this question real quick though, and then we'll get back to it. Harrison Sherwin says, "Love the show, guys. Just want to show my appreciation. Also wanted to say, a fellow 6'5" height. He's talking about his height. It's great to see Jamie's success. I've been a fan of his for years. So he's
Thank you very much.
showing some support. For anybody watching, are you guys more confused or less confused? Robert Noss says prettiness is not a category, but Paul's a judge of pro shows, and he's telling you prettiness, lines, shape. If you're counting prettiness as shape and aesthetics, prettiness is part of the criteria.
yeah. And so I might not use the right word sometimes to describe what I'm thinking in my head, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Fouad, like the flow of a physique, like,
Yeah.
but you know what, can I just give you one example though of a mistake I see a lot of young judges make that maybe this will help people understand what I'm talking about with the full package. And you'll understand this, Fouad. The back pose, for example. You'll get a guy who's got shredded glutes, but shallow in the back, lacking lats, whatever the case may be. And like a young judge might be like, wow, that guy's got a great back shot. But the guy next to him has full development, but, might be a little softer without shredded glutes. You're looking at the whole package, so just because a guy has shredded glutes doesn't mean he wins a back pose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's a mistake a lot of people make because they see that wow factor in the shredded glutes.
Well, because for a more casual fan, I think it's easy to spot shredded glutes versus a shallow back. They don't necessarily understand.
Exactly.
This gentleman wanted me to ask, he's curious, what exactly are you looking at to determine conditioning?
Well, how lean the body is and how dry the skin is, so you can see the detail.
So what? I think you should kind of express what shows that. So striations,
separations,
thinness of the skin, separation of the muscle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything else you can add to that?
No, I mean, it's the detail, basically the detail and how much detail you can see.
I think he means specific areas. Like what I would look at is, does he have a wrinkle
in his glute,
on the glute, where it goes into the hamstring, or does he get wrinkles when he leans back on a rear double bicep?
Yeah.
That's areas I look at because
are the erectors in the low back dry, or does it look like it's still soft and mushy? Yeah.
And sometimes that we talk about this. Sometimes that's a lack of fullness, not necessarily being not conditioned.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it still looks like poor conditioning.
Definitely,
to a judge. There's also like an overall conditioning factor that's sometimes not noticeable. Like I think of like Akeem Williams, right? Like he's got super conditioned legs, but then his back has got an overall layer of, so it's not a specific area. It's kind of the whole thing has a little bit thicker skin. So Connor Kirkland says, can somebody win the majority of poses but still lose when the total package is judged?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Can you give me any kind of example? Because I'm not exactly sure what he means.
Yeah.
Is there any show you can think of?
Yeah. We talked about it before, if we had you and I. Remember Pro Qualifier a couple of years ago? There was this massive super heavyweight dude, but was lacking a back.
That's right.
Yeah. Robin Strand beat him. Because Robin had a more complete physique. Yeah, even though that guy won the majority of the poses, his back was such a weak point compared to the rest of his physique that it was such a disadvantage for him.
Jamie, do you agree with that? Do you think if a guy, and I'm not saying like you're wrong, Paul, I just want to know what these guys think. So Jamie, if a guy goes on stage and they do all 7 mandatories, and the guy wins every one except for
everyone.
No, just hear me out. Everyone except for back double and back lat spread, because his back is really not there, right?
Yeah.
Does that guy lose if his back is really bad? Let's say it's not
a super heavyweight class.
Yeah.
Just open. It's such a weakness on a big body, though.
Yeah, I'd still look at, you say you got 2 side poses, potentially 4 front poses with the ab and thigh and most muscular. So that's 6 poses versus 2.
Yeah.
So are we saying he's won 6 poses?
Well, most muscular is not a pose, so there's 5 versus 2.
Okay. My view would be if he's 5v2 in like a winning 5, he still wins the show.
See,
and he gets sent away with the feedback. You need to fucking bring you back.
I think that's the way the average fan looks at it. But to a judge, I think if you're missing such a glaring body part like a back, it's not like you're missing.
Package.
It's not like you're missing calves or like something that's a little bit less glaring to the eye. I think if you're missing a back, I don't know,
and
man.
it's such a weakness. It's such a weakness.
Yeah,
you know? And let me just say, like, because again, you're not judging pose for pose, although that does play into your final judgment. It's the full package you're looking at. So even though a guy may have lost a couple poses and the other ones may have been close, but may have got edged out slightly.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if he's got a more complete physique, in my opinion, that still should be the winner.
I mean, if you
in my
turn
opinion,
around,
everyone's got their opinion. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
So
if he
Paul-
looks like a bikini girl from the back, then maybe I can take it.
So Paul, Christian Evans said, we've all decided in the chat that it's time for the piercing, Paul.
Well,
when are you getting your piercing? Roman, you owe me a piercing too.
What do you got to get pierced?
Roman's got to get his eyebrow.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Roman's got to get his eyebrow. Paul's got to get his nipple. Okay, so this is the rule from now on. So all the people in the chat can stop bothering me when Paul's not on. From now on, the person who has a bet to pay is not allowed back on the podcast until they pay the bet.
I was waiting for you, Fouad. I was ready to do it a little while ago, but you said I had to
okay.
wait for you to come.
Yeah, okay, sure.
I'm off work now for a couple of weeks.
All right,
I think Christmas piercings are an order.
You what?
Christmas piercings.
Yeah.
Oh, like
Is it
like
the
ornament,
left one
Christmas ornament?
or the right one?
Whichever one you decide, Roman.
Which one do you do it on?
I don't know. I have no anybody in the chat know which piercing is which eye? Does it matter?
I'm trying to decide which nipple too.
I'm sure it means something if you get the wrong side.
Oh yeah, you should check into that. Yeah. It's like the ear thing. If you got it in the right ear,
Mhm.
you want
Yeah.
to send the wrong message.
This guy says live piercing. You can do a live piercing.
Well,
That'd be good, yeah.
Just grab a
That'd be good.
syringe. You can put it through there.
oh, I think that's me.
What would it take? What would it take for you to do that? How much would they have to put up money wise, Roman?
You know what? I was going to do that, okay? But you only had me on the show since the Olympia when we made that bet twice. So this is the second time. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
These guys say left is normal, gay is the right side is the gay side.
Okay.
For nipples. Is it the same?
That's the word we didn't want to say. We didn't want to say gay.
Well, that's what they said. I'm just reading what they said.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
What about nipples? Do you guys know if the nipples matter?
Yeah, I don't want to send the wrong message.
Oh, nobody can see it anyway. It won't matter.
Well, you'll see it through
cool.
my shirt probably though.
Why don't you just
Anyway.
get both from Paul just to like even it out?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Sure. No way. I'll get one. That's it.
What
Guys,
do you
I gotta
guys?
take my child bladder for a quick piss. I apologise.
Yeah, I got to
Go
go
ahead,
to the
man.
bathroom too. Yeah,
All right.
me too.
Me and Roman will hold it down.
Yeah.
Roman, this guy says, what do you think about the Chris Bumstead versus Patrick Moore drama? Do you think Patrick could beat him? I didn't know there was any drama.
Patrick can never beat him.
No.
No.
I love how matter of
You know-
fact you are. Patrick can never beat him.
You know, my pick for beating Chris Bumstead is my man Urs Kaliczynski from Germany.
Yeah, he's if I share my screen, can they see it? Probably, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the guy to beat Chris.
Oh no, wait. I don't think I can. Shit. What are we looking at here? Okay. What is on Paul's camera?
That's his chair, the back of his chair.
Oh, it spun around.
Yeah.
So Urs is he's a German guy, right?
Yeah.
You think he can beat Chris?
He's going to beat Chris in 2023.
No.
Yes.
You want to bet on it?
Yes.
This guy said that we're being ignorant because we said there's no gay side for the piercing. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's ignorant. I thought there was a side. Like, I don't know. Is that ignorant?
Yeah. When I got my ears pierced, listen, even my mom told me when I got my ears pierced, I think when I was 6 years old or something like that, I wanted a year. And she said, we're going to get the left side.
Yeah.
She insisted on me getting the left side.
Yeah, I don't think your
She
mom
didn't tell me anything about gay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what we were going to do.
Okay. So Urs, I wonder if I can share my screen here. Let me see if this works. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, let me see. I don't know if the chat's still open. Okay, are we looking at okay. So this is Urs. Is that how you pronounce it? Just Urs?
Urs.
Urs?
That's better. Urs.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's got a great, I mean, that's all pixelated.
No, that's him natural.
This is him natural?
Yes.
Really?
What? I don't believe you. Now we're doing
I don't know. Maybe not. But get the
Maybe not.
Then Olympia 2021.
He changes mind real quick.
Yeah, he's like, maybe not.
Quick, pull back.
Maybe not. He's got great legs, eh? That's fucking sweet.
You know, I think I told you, Fouad, I seen a couple really impressive classic
this one,
amateurs recently.
This one when he won his pro card.
Oh wow.
This one was when he won Tampa.
He's got okay. You know what he's got? He's got one thing that I noticed that all great physiques have, and that's the flaring lats from the front.
Yep.
You know, like the Dorian Yates, like big lats from the front. Lee Haney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris
Bumstead.
Bumstead.
Is he a bodybuilder or classic?
Classic.
But we don't do lat spreads in classic unless he did it in his routine or something.
Yeah.
Maybe did his routine.
Yeah, that's a nice physique.
This is probably him before. Why are all these fucking pixelated? He's here. Listen, I don't see it, man.
You'll see what
I'm listening.
What was that?
That was Siri.
Yeah.
Siri's listening.
That's what your Siri sounds like?
Yeah, apparently so. Just turn this shit off.
Okay, so I don't know, guys. I'm like, Chris has got a wow factor that it's not just about having a great physique. He's got a different, like, there's a different thing involved. You know what I mean? Like, his physique is just different.
Yeah.
What was the question? Was it if
can
Chris Bumstead's going to get knocked off?
Well, the question was, can Patrick Moore beat Chris Bumstead? And Roman just shut it down before we even had the conversation.
What did he say?
So
he
said,
no,
I don't think so either.
I agree.
We all agree, but then we start talking about Urs. Urs. I don't know how to say
that's better. That was
good. Urs. And Roman thinks Urs can beat Chris. Why are you laughing at me? I'm trying to,
like what he said, Urs.
Trying to be respectful.
Is it German? Is that German, that name?
Yeah. Look at like that's
it's Latin. It's Latin, and it means bear.
Roman.
That's cool.
Roman, look at this.
Yeah.
Like that it's almost ridiculous how
like he is still but Chris is at his limit and Urs is 15 pounds under his limit.
Chris is not at his limit. He's still got 5 pounds to go.
Does he?
Yeah.
What does he weigh now?
5 more pounds on this physique is going to be fucking crazy, man.
What does he weigh on stage, Fouad? You know?
I think he's 240 or 241 at the last show. I think he's got up to 245 or something like that. I could be wrong on those numbers, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But I mean, like, it's put together different, man.
Yep, I agree.
The stature really helps him as well. Was he like 6'2"? I think the stature really helps him.
Yeah. His muscle bellies, everything. He's just got that look too.
I gotta say, Chris doesn't lose until he retires. Like, he's just going to retire.
I agree. As long as he stays healthy, injury-free.
And I think if he does lose, it's going to be because some other factor, like he came in off or like something got messed up. I don't think anybody can beat Chris at his best.
I think Chris is champion until he chooses not to.
Okay. Then my statement is the next one to win the Physique Olympia is Urs.
Yeah.
After
he looks like he's got a lot of potential.
I can see that. I mean,
where did he place this year?
5th this year? 4th.
Really?
Who was 5th this year? Do you remember? Oh, that Brazilian guy, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This guy says Chris has no back and arms. He does have a back. He developed a back in the last couple of years, and his arms aren't spectacular, but they fit his physique. So it doesn't matter if they're like 25 inches. It's all about what it looks like on the physique.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Jamie, what do you think? Anybody can beat Chris?
I don't think so. I just think if you was to define classic physique, then he would be the definition.
Yeah.
I think he embodies the class, and he's a good poster boy, good advertisement for the Olympia. I think there's a lot of other reasons other than just the physique that makes him the perfect champion.
Hey, have you guys seen that? Wait, this guy says Marcelo De Angelis, Brazilian guy, can compete with Chris Bumstead. All right, let's see who this is. Marcelo De Angelis. Have you guys heard of this guy?
No.
Yeah, but he was in the Olympia this year and he didn't place. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh, is this that?
Where did he play?
Wait, is that guy's on Instagram? He's like Horse MD or something like that. Is that this guy?
Is that him? Right, yeah.
This got a crazy physique.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh wow! Look at those quads.
This is morphed. It's got to be morphed. I think this is real. I mean, it's still crazy, but
yeah.
Let me see if I can find a better.
There's some great physiques coming up, eh?
Look at this, Paul.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah, there's some great young physiques coming up right now.
But I think I said this in one of my wrap-ups. Don't you guys think there's a difference in classic? Like, you have guys who have like an artistically classic physique, and you have guys who have like a bodybuilding classic physique.
Yeah,
this guy looks more like a bodybuilding type of physique, but it fits the classic category. Whereas Chris has more of like an artistic flow to his physique. Does that make sense?
Hey, yeah. Hey, what do you think of this theory? I was talking with Ron Carlo this weekend. He came up with this theory, and it makes a lot of sense. You know how there seems to be like a bit of a lack of super heavyweights in the amateur ranks right now? Good super heavies. Like there's definitely some good ones, but there's not as many as maybe there was 10 years ago or so. He thinks it's because a lot of these big guys like that now are switching to classic. The big guys who have shape. Yeah. And that's why we're not seeing so many good super heavies in the open anymore.
Well, I agree with that 100%. I mean, if you just look at Chris, if Chris put on 10 more pounds, he could win a small open show. I mean, Chris might be able to win a small open show now.
Yeah, well, Chris turned pro as a heavyweight bodybuilder.
If Chris did the Toronto Pro this weekend, he probably would have won.
Yeah, maybe with a little bit more muscle, probably would have been close.
Okay,
well, I mean, a little bit more muscle.
I don't want to disrespect anybody. If he put on a little bit more muscle.
Yeah.
You can't deny that if Chris put on like 10 pounds of muscle, he would do very well in the open class.
He's already 240.
Yeah. I mean, I think somebody in the chat said he was 235, but whatever. I mean,
okay.
All right. Any other questions, guys, before we move on?
I've got one for Paul, actually, while we're on the judging questions. Because I've always wondered this as a competitor. Going through the amateur ranks, I was always told when you're not in the lineup and you're backstage at the back on the lines, always keep everything in. Stomach tight, legs in.
Yeah.
But the pros just seem to fucking let everything hang out when they're on the sides. Is that judged in any way?
Yeah, well, I just think it plays into your stage presence, which does play into your score a little bit. You know, not so much your score, but just a judge's, perspective of your physique. But one thing like Gary this past weekend, he did this, and I like to do this myself when I head judge shows. Like when he's done looking at a group of guys, he just sends them off stage. He doesn't want to see them anymore. He wants to focus his attention now on the rest of the guys on that stage. So I like that style myself. But when guys are on the side, in my opinion, like you don't have to stay fully flexed, like you see, like especially in men's physique, you see these guys like they're just hitting poses the whole time on the side. And I get it. They're trying to get attention, whatever, trying to get eyes on them. But as long as you're not like just slouched over, let your belly go. Like I think staying up with one arm on the waist is fine. But I would think you should keep things in, like in at least present yourself properly.
Yeah,
Jamie.
Wait a minute before you guys go on. Ian's in here. Ian's in the chat causing trouble.
What's he saying?
He's replying to somebody. I don't know what the original comment was, but he said, well, he beat him at the Olympia. Ramon barely even won the show. He did post Olympia. I thought he shouldn't have, to be honest. I don't know what the original argument was, but Ian's got to fucking start trouble everywhere.
Why don't you bring him into the conversation?
I don't know. Ian, maybe I should send him a link. 1 second here. Let's see if I can send him a link. Fucking Ian.
Surprised Guy's not on there.
Ian loves start shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Ask me if he sat home with a cigar and the Gucci loafers on.
Ian says, "Fuck you, Fouad. Your comment was held. Your comment was held for review. You asshole. I'll ban you from this chat." Let me see. Where is Ian?
Ban his ass.
I'm gonna ban Ian. Ben is online too. I don't see Ben's. Ben's here too. What the fuck?
I think we got it. MP is going crazy.
All right. Oh wait, here's. Okay, let's see here. This fucking guy. What are you? What are you doing, shithead? You causing trouble?
Do you like my hair?
Yeah, it looks great. What are
Oh,
you
did you get that
arguing?
procedure?
What are you arguing with people about?
Nothing. I'm not arguing.
I saw you arguing with somebody. What were you
Oh,
arguing?
someone said that Ramon was better than Urs, and I said no.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a crazy. It's a
They're
two
both
different.
awesome, but Ramon. I mean, Urs placed higher at the Olympia, and I said that Ramon, the show he did after the Olympia, he barely won it, in my opinion.
I think they're two different physiques. I feel like Urs is more classic.
I agree. I mean, they're both great, but I mean, I think Urs. I agree with you guys or whoever said it that Urs is the next guy for sure.
That was Roman said that, yeah. Oh, Ben, yeah. Ben Chow, fuck you, Fouad. I was here first.
Ben was there.
I didn't. This chat has gone to shit. You guys fucking.
Oh dear.
Ben, I sent you a link.
6. Is this a record?
This is a record, yes.
Yeah.
What were you guys talking about before? Toronto Pro?
We were talking about
Does it matter if you stand in the back of the stage?
Oh, we were talking about Jamie was asking when you're standing in the back of the lineup if it matters if you're flexing or controlling your physique.
Oh,
Paul was answering.
I can tell a story about that. I have a story about that.
Okay, give us a story. I haven't heard your story today yet.
It's not a funny story. It's a serious story this time. Okay, so Tampa Pro 2016. I wasn't in the first call out, but I was standing in the back of the stage in my front relaxed the whole time because I thought, fuck this, I'm gonna get at least in the second call out. And then I see Steve Weinberger, he's looking at the guys in front, and then he's looking at me in the back. He's looking at the guys in front again, looking at me. He goes over to the man on his side, I think his name is Sean Andros.
Yeah,
and,
Sean, yeah.
Talks to him, points at me, and the guy nods. And then it's like, number 16, join the guys in the front. And then I ended up placing 4th.
I remember the show actually. Yeah.
So staying tight mattered, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he saw me standing in the back, all flexed, and then I ended up placing 4th. And I even beat John De La Rosa that day.
There you go. There's your answer, Jamie.
Nice.
Ben,
so I was
what's
thinking,
up?
if it doesn't matter, it's a great time to rest.
What are you guys doing? You're sitting in my chat trying to start trouble?
Yo, Paul, did you have
Ian just cut you off. He didn't even let you say hi. He just cut you off.
Ian.
He's like, yeah, whatever, Ben. So Paul.
fuck Ben. Paul. You were judging this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Did you have Quentin winning or did you have
I love this. This is gonna be great.
Joel winning?
I know. I had Joel winning.
You had Joel winning?
Yes. Slightly.
Ian, you had Quint winning, didn't you?
I quit.
I asked the same question.
I knew it.
I
fucking knew it.
I quit.
Okay, but wait a minute. Tell them what. See, they probably think the same thing I thought, which was I had Quint winning based on the pictures and the video because Joel didn't look as hard as Quint in the pictures and videos. But Paul said in person, Quint was or Joel looked harder, like the muscle looked
No,
harder.
and I've competed a few times with Joel, and I know he usually comes in pretty good condition, and it doesn't necessarily show the same in pictures.
Yeah.
So I can see that.
The way I thought, like when they were standing there, just relaxed, whatever. Quentin did look a little bit harder, a little bit drier.
Yeah.
But when Joel hit his poses, he popped. Like his muscles were full. He was striated everywhere. Quentin may have been a touch harder, a touch drier, maybe, but Joel was fuller.
Yeah.
And I felt like his overall package was a little bit better. I think Quentin, give him another year or two, and he's going to be dominant.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the difference, like obviously in the density and maturity to the muscle. You can see the difference. You know, especially through the back, the back from the waist up for sure. Yeah, and
that's where I feel it is for Quentin. He's got to get thicker a little bit to fill up that frame of his.
Can anyone answer to me why Joel never flexes his glutes on his back shots though?
Someone's gonna answer.
And what he did though,
you're probably gonna cut them off. So we'll just answer.
And what he did, they were
hard. Go ahead, answer, Paul.
I was just gonna say his glutes were hard when he flexed them. Yeah, standing there, they weren't looking as hard as Quentin's for sure when he was standing there. And like I said, Quentin probably was a couple % harder, but it wasn't as big of a difference as as I think some of the pictures may have shown.
Yeah.
Ben, what are you doing today? Who's on your shirt? Is that Drago?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, it's awesome.
My leg day t-shirt.
He dies.
That's your leg day t-shirt?
One of my leg day t-shirts, yeah.
Did you
I do have a bone to pick. I joined the chat, or I didn't join it. I joined the podcast right when you were talking about if a physique has no back, and I couldn't help but think you were just bagging on me.
God, you're talking about
Fuck you all.
That was Paul's fault. Paul said that.
But I am gonna step out because I got work to do, and it's carnage. So
wait a minute before you go. This James Perrin says, everyone in the call, who would be the best classic pro out of us, out of the podcast guys? I think he means out of the podcast guys.
Out of the guys in it now, or everyone in general?
Everyone that is on the podcast. Who's the best classic pro?
Oh,
me for sure.
Are you fucked?
My physique when I was like 220 was the fucking best for sure.
No, not even close.
Like it means right now.
I'm gonna do a classic show.
Who's got a better classic physique than me?
Let the people in the chat vote.
No, because they're gonna vote for their favorite. That's not true.
I think we all had awesome physiques at like shape wise at 220. It's just we all got bigger,
Yeah, but mine was more classic.
I don't think so.
Paul, what do you think? You judged me.
I did judge you favorably, I might add.
Favorably. Give me the who's the comparison? James is a monster. Nick's a monster.
Definitely not James.
Definitely not Nick.
No, definitely not
potentially.
Nick.
Potentially the best classic physique could be Jamie because of his big structure.
He's too tall. Limbs. He's too tall.
No, I think that's good for classic because
I feel like Roman could do okay in classic.
Roman could do good too, but yeah.
Roman doesn't have a back.
Yeah, but neither does Chris Bumstead. He wins the Olympia. So.
But look, I can be classic now.
My classic weight's 265. I look like I've got AIDS.
A guy could be a master's classic though.
Guy's not balanced. He's bottom heavy.
Yeah,
but so are a lot of classic guys, honestly.
Yeah.
Ben, you got to go.
It's a lot, so yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll carry on watching, but I got work. So
all right, don't shit talk me in the fucking chat, or I'll ban
you. I'll do whatever the fuck I want in the chat. The chat is my domain. Okay. You get the videos.
All right, see you, man.
All right, bye, guys.
Anyways,
well, let me ask you: did you guys agree with the rest of the placings at the Toronto show?
I had Joe Seaman. I thought Joe Seaman was going to win.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Well, before the show, when we did predictions, I thought he was going to be the best combination of muscularity and condition. I knew his his aesthetics wouldn't be as pretty as Quint, obviously, but I thought he would be the most muscular and the most conditioned, and you would have to end up going with him. But
who was fourth?
Aaron
Gawley, yeah.
Yeah. Fifth was Stan,
yeah.
Yeah, and sixth, I'd have to check the guy's name. That guy from Mexico.
Yeah, it's Longoria or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No, I mean, I was cool with the rest of the placings. I mean, Joe. I think Joe was probably the most muscular, but his conditioning didn't look like super crisp, and like obviously his shape compared to Joel and Quentin's just not quite the same, right?
Yeah, it looked like his upper body can be, and I wondered if that was fullness with Joe too.
This guy says for classic, Fouad, Jamie, Roman, Paul, Ian. That's the classic placings.
Yeah.
Where did I place?
You were fourth. You beat Ian.
I beat Ian, really? I beat Ben Pekulski now, Fouad before, and now I beat Ian.
Now you beat Ian.
Yeah, so I potentially could have a couple pro wins if I were to follow through.
Paul's claim to fame. Paul's claim to fame is he beat Ben Pekulski when he was like 18.
You beat Ben
2005. I did. I won the overall. Ben won his class. But I gotta say, Ben like didn't even diet for the show. He was just there to get a qualification.
Is that the year he did? Is that the year he did the Top Gun routine and you wore the glasses on stage? Remember that?
Well, you can't wear props on stage as an amateur.
Oh, what did he? No, it must have been a different thing. I was watching. It must have been a guest posing.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, you guys want to do some questions? Ian, are you sticking around?
No, I'll get out of your hair.
Well, you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm just nap. I'm laying in bed.
All right.
Okay, see you guys.
Talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Can you ask Paul how important are arms when being judged, since top 2 and classic have the weakest arms in the whole lineup?
Top 2 and classic. What? Sorry, say it again.
He's saying the top 2 and classic had the weakest arms in the lineup. So how important are arms when judging classic?
He's referring to Chris and Terrence.
Yeah.
Well, because we just said it's overall package.
It's proportion. Yeah. It's weird. It's strange with Chris because his arms aren't phenomenal, but it doesn't look like a weak point when he's flexing.
Right.
To me, anyway. Yeah.
I mean, sure, if you want to make him perfect, mean, more, maybe make his arms a bit bigger, but they're not a weak point.
Yeah. Somebody keeps saying, get Justin Shire on. Is he in here?
I think he's in the comments.
He's a week out. What's he doing in the chat? He should be fucking sleeping or something.
I think he said he would make the best classic.
Brett was classic before, wasn't he?
Yeah, Brett was classic. That's true. Oh, we forgot about Brett. All right, Justin, if you're still here, I sent you a link. Okay, let's do some questions because they're not coming fast enough in the chat. And
I see in the comments a lot of people had Quentin.
I think a lot. Listen, I had Quentin too based on the photos, but I only had the luxury of talking to you. That's why I changed my opinion.
Well, all I'll say is, like Gary Udit, as everyone knows, is a very well-respected and, one of the top judges in the world, and he was the head judge of the show.
Yeah.
So, I feel confident in the decision we made.
Okay. Who has the worst game when it comes to women?
Me.
In the podcast?
Yeah. James, admittedly.
James, yeah. Yeah.
Paul is the classic king. That's what somebody just said.
Really? Am I back in my heyday?
I guess. Maybe now even. They love you that much.
Really?
Big
waste now.
What's a good rice substitute if rice causes bloating?
Rice causes bloating. Gluten-free pasta.
Yeah, right. Well, rice pasta, that's what I eat. But I mean, I don't know.
There is pasta made, if the rice is the problem, there is pasta made out of corn.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had that.
Wouldn't you just do potatoes? Potatoes or sweet potatoes?
Yeah.
Or oatmeal or cream. Well, cream of rice you couldn't do because it's still rice.
Even bread. I find bread digests well.
Ezekiel bread digests well for me too.
Rice bread?
Yeah. Well, that's rice.
I've never heard anyone say that rice bloats them.
Me either.
Right.
Well, because there's nothing in it.
Yeah. It seems to be the go-to for people with digestive problems.
How do you fold your toilet paper when wiping? Roman? How do you fold it? Do you fold the toilet paper or scrumple it up?
I fold it into a dove,
I got spin off.
Listen, seriously. I don't want to talk about shit on this podcast every time. Just curious. Jamie. How do you
I fold it.
Yeah.
I fold it.
Yeah.
So I got like a palm width piece of paper.
Full, yeah.
Full, yeah. It's got to be a bit thick. You don't want to put your finger through it. You're going to take one big wipe, fold it in half again, another wipe, and then you've got a third fold or a second fold. So you've got one piece, 3 wipes.
Yeah, I've been there before. Yeah.
Oh, I must waste a lot of toilet paper.
Paul, you probably do. What do you do? Fold or scrumple?
I scrumple, wipe.
Oh, wait, that doesn't surprise me at all with you for some reason.
Why?
Because it's just a
That's what you're
disaster.
supposed to wipe, I thought.
Nah, Roman.
I'll tell you what, it was good.
Wait,
I'm with Jamie. Totally, exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
I thought I was the norm.
You scrumple.
I actually had there was a show on TV that talked about things you didn't know, stuff like that, and they said that the majority of people in the US scrumble, and the majority of people in Europe fold.
Really? More sophisticated.
More sophisticated?
Yeah, we're animals over here.
But that's and then they said that is the reason for toilet paper in the US to be normally thinner, less layers, and over here in Europe, toilet paper is thicker.
I see.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get three ply.
I've noticed that too.
So they make toilet paper different for different parts of the world?
No.
Well,
I think it just depends how cheap your toilet
I think he means. I think he maybe. Paul,
or maybe it is. Maybe they said thinner toilet paper is sold more in the US, and over here they sell more of the 5-layer, Charmin.
Okay.
Wait a second. I got another question here. Do you think dark black athletes should have light makeup type tan to show detail more? So he's saying somebody who's dark, like Akeem's dark, Terrence is dark. Should they have a lighter, pro tan that makes them lighter? That doesn't make sense.
Well, even the playing field.
Somebody accused me of being racist because of this podcast, and I'm like, listen. First of all, racism has been part of this podcast since episode number 3 with Luke when he made fun of my Muslim hat, and then various other things about my heritage, and then we make fun of Ben for being Asian. We make fun of fucking Ian for being white and wholesome. We make fun of everybody. So if you're fucking sensitive and you think we're racist, don't watch the show. That's all. I just want to say that this is the most politically incorrect podcast. It's on the fucking YouTube. We say the most retarded shit. Retarded. I say retarded all the time. Completely politically incorrect. But it just don't watch the show, man, because we make fun of everybody, and we're not racist, and we're not fucking mean-spirited people, and we all try and keep it positive all the time. So if you don't like it, don't watch. Just want to get that out of the way. Sorry, guys.
That was good.
Okay. This guy said, "Do you like black women, Fouad?" Well, I'm married, and I'm married to a white woman. So I don't know. I don't dislike black women, but I'm married, so I don't really I don't know what the fuck that means.
Watch what you're saying. You don't want to be racist.
Paul's wife is partially black.
Yes.
Partially.
This guy said,
"Yes, she is."
Why are you laughing? That's true. How am I supposed to say?
I never heard someone refer to someone who's would say mixed race as partially black.
No, mixed race is wrong. You can't say mixed race anymore.
Well, you can't say that no more.
Apparently, mixed race is bad.
What's wrong with that?
What
are you supposed to say then? It's multicultural.
You're supposed to say partially.
Oh, okay.
Jamie's okay. Roman, you figure it out for me. If you can't say mixed, and you can't say partially, what are you supposed to say?
Blended.
Blended. Is blended okay?
Oh god.
Jamie?
We got a bread in the UK called 50-50.
But it's not 50-50. She's not 50-50, so you can't say that. It's partial.
Oh, shit.
We used to have that here. What kind of bread?
Blended. Is that the term, Paul? Should we say blended?
Yeah. Well, she's also indigenous.
Ask your wife. Ask your wife. Say, would you be offended if somebody said you were blended?
Okay. Well, she'll be on pretty soon. I'll ask her.
Versus partial.
Okay. I'll ask her. I don't think she'd be offended by that.
And then ask her about mixed and see which one offends her the most.
I call her milk chocolate.
Yeah.
I call her milk chocolate.
I do.
You call her butterscotch. Butterscotch.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right, 1 second. We got a guest. Oh shit! Look at this setup. He's got a backdrop. He's got lighting. Look at this. It's like a professional podcaster now.
You got it.
All right, so
Yes, on it.
Justin, Justin, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
If you're talking about somebody that has multiple races in their background, what would you think is the most offensive? Blended, partial, or mixed, or milk chocolate?
Well, milk chocolate sounds pretty offensive.
It's my wife.
I guess context matters here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fine. Leave the milk chocolate out. If it was
blended. I think blended is
bad, right?
Yeah, I think blended.
But I think mixed is actually, you're not supposed to say mixed anymore.
What are we supposed to say?
Well, I don't know. That's why I said partially, and Jamie laughed at me. He said, partially is wrong. I don't know. Paul, you're mixed. You're
I'm Italian.
You're part French, part Italian. So what do you prefer?
I'm not really French, I forget.
Yeah, you are. You're actually 50% French.
It's not 50. But
you just don't identify with that half. That's
no, I don't know. I'm Italian. My mom's Italian. I was brought up by an Italian mom.
Okay, but
my dad was in my life. I mean, my parents were together, but I just don't know my dad's side of the family.
Okay, but it doesn't change the fact that you are part French. So, if somebody said you were mixed, would that offend you?
No, not at all.
Blended?
I think blended.
Blended? No, I wouldn't be offended by being called blended.
Are you getting in trouble right now for our conversation?
No, I just wanted to know if the door's closed.
Hey, I shaved my beard, buddy.
Yeah, but there's still a little stubble. You look good.
Well, yeah, now it's growing out a little bit, but the amount of weird without the beard comments I get is.
Well, I think with the hat on, it looks good. It's when you have the hair done, then it's like. What's going on? Your prep's like coming to an end. You got what, like a week left?
Yeah, like a week left. Yeah.
Everyone's saying you're gonna get your pro card. What's going on with that? Is that true?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to shell out the big bucks.
Word on the street. Yeah. Come on. Pay me the big bucks.
He's gonna try to block you. Like
he's got more money than I do. He's got a weed farm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm invested, Fouad.
Justin's gonna sponsor Hostile.
Yeah.
Justin's gonna be our new investor.
The title sponsor at my cannabis events.
How's your you just bought a BMW X5M? How's that?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I'm really fucking happy with it.
Is it helping you get through the rest of the prep?
Yeah.
No, seriously, because I do that. I do that. Yeah.
When I'm bored, I just go drive.
Go for a drive for fucking half an hour.
Take my mind off. Yeah, it helps.
I gotta ask this question because this guy Johnny DeFan says, "Have you guys seen this new bodybuilder Eric Chin?" Is this a joke? Like, is there a name that I'm not? Eric Chin. Do you guys know who that is?
No.
Like a funny name, like
is it a funny name I'm missing? Yeah. Like Mike Kuntz or something?
Seymour Butts.
Mike Kuntz is the best one. Okay. No, let's see. Any other questions here? So Justin, your prep's going good?
Yeah, it's going really good. Yeah, I feel good.
Anybody you're worried about at the show, or are you just focused on yourself?
Man, I'm not really paying attention to anybody.
No,
I'm not really worried about anything.
You're just honed in, right?
Yeah, and I think that when you start distracting yourself and paying attention to other people, it's not a good thing. So I'm not really worried about it, and I feel confident. I feel good. So
I'm going to read this comment. Rogue Silver seems very adamant. Identity politics people are clowns. All fake ass outrage is laughable. Being offended is a leftist pastime which is pathetic. It's very, very political, which I don't normally read on the show, but I thought it was very adamant about it, so I thought I should read it. I don't know if I agree with all that, but I do believe there's a lot of fake outrage.
Yeah.
Well, people just getting pulled into the conversation.
outrageous currency these days.
Could you imagine somebody being mad because you said they were mixed? Like it doesn't. I don't know. I don't even know how that's offensive or anything. I don't even know why that's a problem. Anyways, somebody said Carlos Thomas. So have you guys seen Carlos Thomas? Roman?
Oh yeah.
Roman, Carlos is good. Carlos is a freak. I'm not sure if he's going to be super heavy or a heavy. Like last time we talked, he's being a bit elusive.
You're a heavyweight, right, Justin?
Yeah. Yep. I'll be a heavyweight. I know when he did that most recent show, the qualifier, he was a super then, but I think he was only like 234, 235 or so.
Oh, that's the guy with the sweepy legs.
Yeah, I'm going to share the screen so people watching can see who it is.
Yeah.
So this is Carlos. Got crazy proportions, but my only thing is the last show he did, I didn't feel like he had crazy separation or detail.
Yeah,
he just wasn't in shape.
And I feel like I don't know if that's going to hold him back or if they're just trying to save the.
No, I think that's typically where he seems to lack, is in separation and detail. But I get, he hasn't been on stage in a while aside from that qualifier, and he was, that was 4 weeks out. So the he's clearly a freak.
Paul, let me ask you this, since we got a head judge on not a head judge, but a professional judge.
I'm a head judge for it.
Okay, just take it easy there with your fucking resume. If we got a pro judge on the panel, if somebody shows up, and like Justin said, I'm not knocking him at all because he could have just been lining up his 100% for the nationals and not for the last show.
Yeah.
But let's say if somebody shows up who's got this kind of physique, it's just absolutely crazy, tons of muscle, great proportions, but they're a little off. And then somebody shows up who may not have these proportions, but is bang on hard as nails. Where do you as a judge side on things like that?
Well, it's hard to say, like hypothetically, without seeing those two guys next to each other.
Pull up my photos and tell me who's gonna win.
Sorry.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Like you see how crazy his physique is, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's impressive.
So imagine somebody with like a really nice physique, but not as crazy muscularity, but is way harder.
Where just as balanced.
Yeah,
it just as balanced, and maybe just not as freaky,
but not as freaky. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to decide on that day who's better. Like.
But as a judge, do you lean generally more towards muscularity or conditioning?
I don't lean towards one or the other, Fouad. It's a combination. I can't say one or the other.
Yeah. It depends on the day.
Yeah, there's no one criteria more important than the other.
Well, you're fucking useless to have on the show.
Well, hey, you wanted my perspective, and I'll give you my honest perspective.
Carlos is definitely a freak. That kid has got a ton of muscle on that frame. He's very good.
Would you rather forever exercise? Roman, I got a question for you. Would you rather forever exercise drenched in someone else's body sweat, or forever exercise while smelling someone else's protein farts? So you either got to exercise drenched in somebody else's sweat, or you have to exercise while smelling somebody else's shit fart in your face.
So do you apply the sweat pre-workout? Is that how
you got it? You got it. Yeah, you pour a picture of it on you.
Right.
I'm going with the smell.
Really?
Well, yes, at least because it's only you smelling it, and you're not emitting the odor yourself, correct? So you just have to.
It's only me smelling it. But the other thing is, if you're wet the whole time, like it says drenched, so your hands are kind of wet. You have to use chalk. You can't really put a bar on your back because it's slippery, and you leave marks all over the place with wetness. Everybody else thinks you're filthy.
What if you have but you have your own private gym?
Yeah, but that's not okay. Yeah, still I'm going with someone else's protein farts.
Did you say someone else's sweat, or your own sweat? You got to
someone else's sweat. Jamie, what do you think?
I think I'll go with the sweat, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
I don't want to be wet all the time.
Yeah, I'm going with Jamie.
I spent a lot of
start sweating yourself as well.
I'm going with the farts.
You're going with the farts, Justin?
I'll go with the farts too.
Yeah.
Paul, you can't go.
Paul, I'll tell you why, Fouad.
Paul, when I fart in your face, you fucking whine about it forever.
Yeah, I got a weak stomach, but I'll tell you a story. This is a long time ago. Remember Nimrod King?
Yeah.
Well, me and him used to hang out a long time ago, and we went to Detroit one night to a club over there, and we're like, I think we took some ecstasy, and we're dancing on the dance floor. We're going nuts, and we're sweating like pigs. We both had our shirts off, I looked, and Nim was wiping his sweat off with my shirt. I think he thought it was a towel. And I had no other shirt that I could wear home that night. So I had to put my shirt soaked in Nim's sweat back on and go back. Oh, it was gross. I love
but
Nim,
can you imagine somebody farting in your face the whole workout? Like, come on. Think about breathing. You guys aren't actually thinking about it. Logan. Wait a second.
Listen.
Wait a second.
It doesn't say someone farts in your face. It says you are smelling someone else's protein farts.
Yeah, so the smell, not their ass, but the smell is in your face. Logan, wait a second. Logan's here. I want to ask Logan, you're stoned. Logan's always stoned, so he'll have a good answer for us.
Yeah.
So, Logan, would you rather wear somebody else's sweaty shirt to work out in, or would you rather smell someone else's protein fart in your face the whole workout?
That doesn't.
No. Listen. You changed the question.
I did not.
The sweaty shirt, drenched, fully drenched head to toe in someone else.
Okay, fully drenched head to toe.
I mean, so you bring your socks.
Like
out.
I just trained legs, and and I gave you my shirt, and you have to wear it.
I'm smelling farts.
No way. Are you crazy?
Man.
Oh, yeah. I would throw up.
Farts, I have them all the time.
That's what I'm saying. I'm smelling my own farts all day anyway.
Yeah, but those are your but those are your farts. I can train in my own farts.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I can't train in Logan's farts. Like,
yeah, you never know.
Justin,
I can train in my wife's farts.
But your face is in her ass half the time. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Logan, do you eat ass?
Me, yes.
Yeah. It's a matter of fact. Much a matter of fact, he's like, me? Yes, of course.
Smoke weed, eat ass. Good man, Logan.
Who doesn't eat ass these days? That's
Jamie.
Oh, Jamie.
I would like to.
He's not allowed.
Don't you then?
I would like
He's
to.
next door.
How are you going to convince her?
Go ahead, no.
Has anybody got any tips for Jamie to convince?
Yeah, put something in a drink.
Roofies.
Roofie, yeah.
I just been to Vegas. I came back with loads of roofies.
Roman, have you ever put something in your wife's drink so you can get her to do stuff? No. Yes, you have.
I don't have to.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I believe you. This guy says, Jason Lowe. Jason, what's up? I'd puke after every intense set if I was breathing in farts the whole time. That's how I feel. Can you imagine? Logan, say that again.
I feel like you get used to it after a while.
No, man. It's somebody else's fart, not yours. Like you're about, imagine this. You're about to do a set of deadlifts. Roman comes over and farts and then leaves. And then you got to do a set. And you got to stand there.
I think Logan's got a good point, though. You ever walk in a casino and it smells like cigarettes, but in 10 minutes you don't smell the cigarettes?
Yeah.
That's true.
That farts.
Yeah. Ass, though, I don't know.
I don't think
I don't know if you get used to ass.
I don't think so either.
I don't know.
But still, I agree, though. I'd take the farts anyway.
I think you'd get used to the sweat. It would go on. You'd be wet. You'd be like, whatever.
Smell. Just knowing there's someone else's sweat.
Well, it doesn't say it's sweaty. It doesn't say it stinks. It just says sweat.
Yeah, sweat doesn't smell good.
I couldn't feel sweat on me the whole workout.
Logan, what are you doing? Are you doing a show?
No, the only show I'm doing is the Tampa Prep.
When is that?
August, I believe.
How much size are you going to put on?
As much until we start prep again.
Are you going to build a back or what?
Well, that's the goal.
You should start training with fucking Justin so you guys can build backs together.
Our backs up, dude. Come on.
No, actually, Justin, you're surprising. Your back lat spread's fucking crazy. There's a lot of meat back there.
Yeah, it looked good in that shot. Definitely.
Why?
I mean, things have improved a ton this year.
No, but you know what's really strange? It's like when you do your back double, it looks like you have high lats. But then when you do your lat spread, there's a ton of meat all through the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I do have high lats, but
no, but it doesn't. That's what I'm saying though. Usually when guys have high lats, like even in a lat spread, it still shows a little bit like yours.
I got like a Keem or something when he opens up.
Yeah, yours still sink all the way down. It's really fucking a weird like thing how it's so different from back double to back lat.
I do struggle with posing that shot. It's just kind of a tough one for me. Like in that, I was a video that I was able to screenshot, and it looked good in that shot. I just got to continue to nail posing it like that.
Yeah, no, I was really, really impressed with that back lat spread, man. It was like, I was like, holy fuck, I didn't know that was there. So you're not competing till Tampa. How many?
Yeah.
So you got like probably 8 or 9 months then.
Yeah, I got a little bit.
What do you weigh right now?
218.
What's your cutoff?
Now it's 205, I believe.
What were you at your last show?
I weighed in at 184, but max is
fuck. What's that? Max is what?
190 for amateurs at 5'9".
Yeah, but that means you have 21 pounds to go still.
Yeah, I have a lot to put on. Quite a bit of room.
You're gonna look like a freak.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Roman, can you help him put on some size?
I'll take all the advice I can get.
Roman will put you on his diet. It's 7,000 calories a day.
You just do the same exercise every workout, every week after week. That's my favorite method.
Did you see that? Are you talking about the guy's comment that I saw? He's a coach, or Justin?
I did hear you say something.
Oh, you heard me say that. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Me? Yes.
You do.
Yeah, I do. I just made a post about that. I mean, I think it's taken a bit out of context. I have an exercise rotation like what Jamie was talking about, where I have a back day, 2 back days, so I have an A-B rotation. They're not the same. And then, I'll rotate things out like different pull down handles. And then, every 6 to 8 weeks or so, I'm rotating out, machines, exercises as they stall. And I'm not doing the same exact workout every week for, the entire year. There's variety, but I definitely marry myself to a program and try to progress all those movements as much as possible and milk everything I can out of them.
Okay. So I'm not saying that's wrong.
Right.
But I want to ask you if you think changing the exercises is wrong.
Too frequently, yes. I think if you don't allot yourself the ability to hone in on the movement and improve the execution and improve your efficiency at that movement, you're limiting your ability to progress in that movement. So if you're doing hack squats 1 week and then you do Smith, then barbell, then SSB squat, and then goblet squat, and then 7 weeks later you make your way back to the hack squat, you're not gonna improve on that hack squat the way you would have if you would have went 7 weeks straight with that hack squat and improved every single week from session.
Okay, so if your goal is improving on the hack squat, you're 100% right.
Yes.
But if your goal is to stimulate muscle, you might not be right, because I can still stimulate muscle with the hack squat and then stimulate muscle with a squat the next week.
And it kind of comes down exactly like what you said. You just have to enjoy it. What I enjoy is doing that and improving and logbooking and seeing my progress there.
Right.
And progress doesn't always mean weight. Sometimes I just improve my execution over that time frame, and I may only jump up 2 reps over that.
So I'll say this: I 100% agree with everything you're saying. If you're in a progressive overload type training, where everything depends on what you did the week before.
Yes.
But if you are like Jay Cutler or like a number of different bodybuilders who do like volume training. I mean, even Roman was saying that too. So like who do volume training, who don't necessarily work off a logbook, I don't know if I agree with it wholeheartedly. So I just feel like
I think
it depends on what your goal is, I guess is what I'm saying.
You know what it depends on? It depends on the individual person. And here it is. There's people out there that go into the gym randomly and then like, I'm going to do chest today. I'm going to do a little bit of incline over there and then some hammer strength, flat press over there. And they do not train hard enough to actually stimulate growth. Agreed. They just go in, wing it, and they don't get enough stimulus to do it, to get any effect from it. And then there is people like you, Fouad, or Jay Cutler, or whoever. They go in and they give everything they have on the random incline barbell press they chose for this workout, but they're killing themselves.
Yeah.
So that's how they stimulate growth. And it doesn't matter what they do next time, because next time they're going to kill themselves again. And then there's other people, they train just as hard, but it helps them if they have a logbook and they enjoy having a logbook and seeing the numbers improve. Yeah. And the difference is the mindset. All those methods work, but a logbook forces you to progress. And your training style, or Jay Cutler's training style, he has progressed as well. Of course, he hasn't benched 405 on the incline on his first day.
I guess what I'm saying is, and I'll take Jay Cutler as an example, because he's obviously probably the best bodybuilder we can think of that's used this, or one of them anyway.
Yeah.
There's a point where Jay Cutler got so strong and said, I don't need to lift this heavy anymore. And he would go in and squat 405 instead of squatting, 6 plates. And he's not necessarily going to failure. He's doing like 405 for like 4 straight sets. That's still stimulating muscle. It's not like he's not doing it's not like that's not doing anything. Right.
Exactly.
And he's still progressing. If you look at Jay Cutler from 2001 to 2006 Jay Cutler looks like he ate 2001 Jay Cutler. So he still progressed without having to increase his squat to 455, 500, 555. He still kept the same weight and just kept stimulating that muscle every week. And he grew with food and supplementation, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know how somebody can look at that example and go, well, that's wrong. It's not right.
I think to double back to what Roman was saying, I think it is an accountability thing. And for me, it lights a fire under my ass every workout, knowing that I have these markers to improve. So I train that much harder based on a set point that I created personally, that I want to surpass. But again, that doesn't mean you don't have to train to failure. You can train with some reps in reserve and still logbook and progress. You don't always have to progress in weight. You can progress through execution cues. Like my whole year, my knees were battered to shit this year. So I didn't push the weight on the hack squat. I improved through execution, through 5 count negatives and a longer pause in the hole. Things like that helped me progress, and my legs grew, and I wasn't necessarily piling weights on every week. So there's different parameters within a progressive plan that you can progress and improve. It's not always weight.
This guy says, Fouad, it's cringe every time you are talking about volume versus intensity. You don't have to watch. If you don't like what we're talking, if you don't like what we're talking about, just fucking log off, man. Like, it's all good.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem, is that people have to these debates, that people have to feel like they have to choose one side or the other. It's really not. Both these.
Well, this is why. Yeah,
I think for certain people, like Roman said, for my mindset, it's what works for me, and it's the most efficient way for me to go from point A to point B to achieve my goals. I think for me, it boils down to efficiency. Mm-hmm. Everyone has a meal plan that they follow to the T, PED protocols they follow to a T, and then just go in and wing their workouts. And to me, that just doesn't make sense. I want to have a plan that I follow and execute and improve, and I want it to be quantifiable.
Well, and this is why, this is why this whole statement is wrong. It's like, it's not about volume versus intensity. I'm like, we're not talking about one versus the other. We're talking about how they work and what's best for each individual person. Justin likes intensity. I like volume. We're just discussing the benefit, pros and cons to each, I guess. So, if you don't like it.
And, I have clients that said to me, I can't have a logbook. And I said, how? I said, why can't you have a logbook? And he's like, because of the pressure. I can't take the pressure every week, and I have to go in and I have to bench 315 for 8, and next week I have to do 9, and the week after that I have to do 10.
Yeah.
And a logbook can actually be pretty daunting. For example, because my squat 3 weeks ago I had 405 for 5 reps. 2 weeks ago I had 6 reps. Last week I had 7 reps, and yesterday. Man, when I was walking downstairs to my gym, my hands were shaking because I got to do 8 reps. I got to do at least 8 reps, and this, anxiety you get. Some people just can't take that, and they have to do some, create other types of stimulus to get to where they want.
Yeah. See, in that environment, I thrive off of. I like that.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that volume training is the easier way to go. Because if you ask Jamie, and I have trained with Milos, the fucking giant sets, when it doesn't matter how much weight you put on, if you know you got to do like a 10 exercise rotation on legs and do that 3 times, you're just as anxious as as when you go into a squat session, like I just explained. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different type of stimulation. And
I watched some of those sessions on YouTube, and they looked insane.
Disgusting.
Very. I've also followed your training prior, and I know what you do prior to that, and you train very similarly to how I train currently.
Yeah.
So I know that was probably a big pivot to train.
Logan, did you smoke a joint just before you came on?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, earlier.
You look fucked up.
Yo,
You look fine to me, Logan.
You and Paul are like right there with each other, right?
Yeah, you look fine to me.
You look fine to me, he says.
We're the normal ones.
Exactly, yeah.
Justin, are they your best fucking clients or what?
No. Logan's a lightweight.
Logan's a lightweight. Oh, fuck. Okay.
So I want to say this again because I get this question all the time.
Sure.
What's better, high intensity or volume training? Training has to be intense enough to stimulate muscle. It doesn't matter if you choose the progressive overload way or you choose the instinctive way. It has to be hard. There's no the HIIT training is hard, and then the volume training is the easier, but because you just pump. Volume training is just as exhausting and taxing. It's just a different type of training style.
This guy just asked Jamie. Actually, I'm curious about this too. Are you doing the 2-a-days with are you doing 2 days with Milos, and how much has your diet changed?
I'm an old man now. I'm 36, so I've actually gone from training 4 times a week to 6 times a week instead of having Wednesdays and Sundays off.
Yeah.
And Saturdays before. I now have just Sundays off. So I train Monday straight through to Saturday.
Man.
Has your diet increased dramatically?
I've added a meal, so I'm on 7 meals instead of 6, which is a little bit different in terms of routine. So now, in the past, I've been very focused on spreading meals out, concentrating on blood sugar and managing that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's kind of been brushed aside a little bit, and we're condensing the meals together a little bit more. But obviously still concentrating on digestion and feel.
Yeah.
But the carbs are at about 850 at the minute, and that's just maintaining weight. So
Jesus.
I will need to increase. But my feeling is if I can get really comfortable with this diet change in terms of the amount of meals and food structure, then in the new year I can make an easy increase in calories from probably carbs.
Yeah.
And then if I find I'm recovering from the 6 sessions a week, I can probably add 1 or 2 double days and go to 7 or 8 sessions a week. But I'm trying to do it like this. I want to put everything into one session instead of having to manage what I do in the morning of one day, so I don't do too much and then have to factor in a second workout in that day. Because what Milos described it as is you're not going to go all out in the first session. You're going to try and hold some back for the second session.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think 6 training sessions a week would be better for me from a recovery standpoint and a time management standpoint as well at the minute. In prep, I think the double days serve a purpose in terms of just getting in shape.
Yeah. I just, this question, where the fuck did it go? If you could go back to 1 year in your life, what would it be and why, Logan? How old are you right now? How old are you?
28.
If you could go back to 1 year in your life, what would it be and why?
Shit. Probably the night I got arrested, actually.
When did you get arrested? What the fuck are you doing on my team? You got arrested?
2 weeks out, 2019 Nationals.
2019 Nationals. You got arrested?
Generate.
Yeah, 2 weeks out.
For what?
Oh, I didn't know I had a warrant out for my arrest for unpaid tickets.
Parking tickets?
Like speeding tickets?
Well, that and multiple other things. Just a whole bunch of shit wrapped into one. I literally walked across the street to Walmart because I needed some chicken for the next day. I got accused of stealing, so they stopped me after I was walking out. So a cop comes up, checks my receipt, Finds out I wasn't stealing, but he runs my ID. Trying to find out I had a warrant out for my arrest, so I had to sit in jail for like 4 days.
Why did he think you were stealing?
Ooh.
And why
because
would
they thought I was stacking chicken on top of each other? Because I got so much of it, so they thought I was stacking on top of each other and just like sneaking some out.
So then you spent 4 days in jail. How'd you get out of jail?
I had to bond myself out. It was tossed $3,000 for my bond.
Holy fuck. What?
Wow.
That's the year you'd go back to?
Well, there's a lot, but that's the first one I would go back to just because there were some things I'd changed leading up to that point.
Oh, you'd fix it before you went to jail. I get it.
Yeah. You
Well, I
always
didn't
go
know-
to the same store to buy the
I didn't
chicken.
know. I didn't know that was the question. You can't change anything. You just go back what year of your life as it sits.
Oh,
Roman?
I can't change anything?
You can't change anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Roman, do you have one while he thinks?
Probably 2009.
Why?
That was when I won the World Championships. Won my first pro card. That was a good one. I made. I got up from a stage weight of 190 to 223 or something like that in that year.
Yeah.
I didn't logbook anything. I just went in and lifted weights.
Yeah.
And that was a straight up great year. Everything just
2009. Yeah.
clicked.
Paul?
And it was so much. The thing is, I was still living with my mom.
Yeah.
I had no bills to pay.
No stress.
Everything was great. No stress.
Yeah.
Just training.
Yep.
And it was awesome.
Paul?
well, there'd be different reasons for different years. Like the year, I became a dad for the first time. That was crazy, but also was kind of cool to experience that. The year I took a year off work because of my shoulder injury. That was
You only get one. This isn't like a fucking like a.
Okay, the year I took off.
It's not like remember
The year I
Paul's
took off work.
past.
The year I took off work.
It's like 1999, 2003. Justin?
So 2018, Fouad.
2018. Okay. Justin?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if I have an exact year. I would want to go sometime back to my childhood and just kind of relive that. I don't
Start
think
over.
we didn't realize like as kids that our parents were kids and growing up, and it'd be kind of cool to look back and see our folks in that time frame from a whole new lens and see how they're adjusting as young adults. And just to I don't know.
Justin's so insightful. That's such a well thought out answer.
I don't have a specific.
Logan's like, I want to go back and make sure I don't go to jail.
I want to go to jail.
the lightheartedness of being a kid, and all that stuff. So, family members,
No responsibility,
and all that stuff.
Jamie,
I probably choose 2014 because that's when I went bankrupt, and at the time I think I had 5 credit cards with a total limit of about £40,000. So I'd probably just enjoy spending that money before I went bankrupt in a different way. Maybe I'd buy some assets that I could actually make money off. I don't know.
I go back to 2007. That's the year I got my pro. The year I got my pro card. No, the year after I got my pro card, I did my first pro show. I met my wife that year. That year was fucking really, really good. That was when my wife was still. That was when my wife still lived in Toronto and she was driving back and forth. So like she'd come down for like 3 days and then go back home for like 4 days. So it was like a vacation every weekend.
That'd make it about your wife. That'd make us all look bad.
Well, I gotta get the brownie points in case she listens to this.
No, I'm gonna get shit on it.
Your wife's gonna listen to this bill. Why did you say that, Paul?
Full year.
Justin. Whatever year I got married, that's the year we'll go back to. Who is the freakiest bodybuilder each of you have seen besides Ronnie Coleman?
In person?
Yeah, not on fucking TV. In person. I'd say Marcus Rule.
To be fair, I have seen basically zero.
You haven't seen any pros, Justin?
No.
Have you ever been to a pro show?
Nope.
When did you get into bodybuilding again?
I did my first show in 2019.
Yeah.
Really? That was your first year?
You don't have any? Do you have any pro shows like near where you live in Oregon?
No.
Oh, that's probably what. Would you go if there was one there?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the nearest one? Is it like driving distance at all, or no?
Maybe like the California Pro. I don't know where at in California they do that, but
yeah.
In Southern California, so it'd probably be about 12-hour drives.
So you have no idea what to expect if you get your pro card and you have to do a show. You have no idea how big these guys are or anything like that.
Nope. I'm my best gauge of what a
big guy is.
Yeah. I'm not very big.
Logan, have you seen any massive pros that you can think of?
Honestly, the one that sticks out to me is I saw Dexter Jackson the year he went pro. I mean, the year he won the Olympia, 2008.
He was the freakiest.
Oh, we were there.
He was the freakiest pro you've seen.
I haven't seen a ton in person.
Yeah,
like
Dexter is freaky though, believe it or not. Even though like in pictures he's not freaky, when you see him in person, he's got these massive shoulders, just like he's usually wearing a jersey or something.
It was a lot shorter than I expected first time I saw him though.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's
but
about 5'6".
That's the first one that popped up for me.
This guy says Fouad would Marcus Rule 2002 Night of Champions win the 2020 Mr. O? No, I don't think so. Before we move on, anybody else want to answer that? Would 2002 Night of Champions Marcus Rule win the 2020 Mr. O?
I don't know about that. I thought you were talking about freaking pros.
No, I'm going to go back to that, but I just want to answer this question real quick. It's interesting because Roman's German, so he might be a Marcus Rule fan and might take the opposite.
I don't know. It's so hard to see them. I don't think so.
I think his waist would hurt him.
And the glutes and the hamstrings were in his dugout. Yeah. He was super freaky. Everything.
Mostly across here.
Yeah, the lat spread. The lat spread. His head looked like shrunk. You know what I mean? And
he's still big.
Yeah, there's a video on YouTube where he walks across the stage and then he does a lat spread and it looks crazy. But then from the back he's just lacking the lower back and the detail in the glutes. And Rami had that, and the Hardy of course too. But he probably would have placed top 5, somewhere in there in the finals.
Jamie, who's the freakiest bodybuilder you've seen? You're fucking 6'5". So does anybody really impress you?
Well, he's actually a bit shorter than me, but 2012 British Finals in the UK, Nottingham, I was working on a stand, and Flex Lewis comes walking up to stand in a pair of shorts, and I see his calf, so I'm like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I guess as a tall guy, you probably look at like those kind of things more though. I always notice that whatever a guy is missing is the thing that he admires the most on someone else.
I get mega calf envy, even when I'm like driving down the street and I see some dad with his kids and his backpack on, never trained in his life. He's got a sick pair of calves. I'm like, what a wanker.
I was like that too. I'd see like a fat guy walking by at the grocery store and his calves would be like all the way down to his ankle. And I'm like, fucking, how come he's got fucking the soleus is like this long? Like, Paul, freakiest bodybuilder?
The first one I ever saw though, the first pro I ever saw in person was Barry DeMay, back when he was in his prime, and that was super impressive to me.
That's not freaky.
But to me it was in those days. That was the first pro I saw. He was like third in the world that time, right? He was third in Olympia. Yeah. But then seeing Kai Green in person at the Toronto 1 year, he wasn't posing. He was just there like for a guest appearance. And actually, he did guest pose at that show. And seeing him in person, because I remember I was close to him, like one of the backstage areas, and like I was like, "Holy fuck!"
How close did you get, Paul?
Within a few feet.
You got to close, probably a little closer.
About a few feet for that. About as close as I got.
I thought you were going to say Greg Kovacs.
Well, I competed against Greg Kovacs.
I know you did.
He beat me.
He beat you, didn't he?
Yeah, I actually retired after that for 10 years.
Rest in peace, Greg.
Yeah.
All right, we've been on for a couple hours now. You guys want to wrap it up?
Let's do another one.
Okay, we'll do one more. These questions get me the craziest. Can you explain? This is like one of the most asked questions, and I can't figure out why this is so hard to figure out. Can you please explain how to measure food weight, cooked or uncooked, and how it's important and its significance?
This is going to be a fucking long discussion.
No, it's not. It doesn't matter how you fucking weigh it. Just weigh it the same way every time.
Okay.
I weigh all my food cooked. And
Yeah.
I like my rice. I cook my rice the same exact way in my rice cooker every time. I use the same rice, the same amount of water, the same method, and I weigh it the same every time. I understand the argument with dry weight. It can be more accurate, but to what extent and is it worth it?
That's what I'm saying. Like people like it's way easier too. Like I'll cook 20 chicken breasts and I'll weigh them cooked. I don't want to weigh them raw and then cook them and then fucking it really doesn't matter, man. However you weigh it.
In my opinion. And yeah, any variance I think is going to be negligible. I think it's just, don't overthink this stuff. These are the questions that I get badgered with constantly. Okay,
so let's move on. Yeah, it's kind of goes back to the Fitbit thing we were talking about. It doesn't matter if it's fucking wrong as long as it's. Somebody said it on here actually. It doesn't matter if it's not accurate as long as it's precise.
You pay attention to variables.
Yeah. Can you explain your poop shake? Who has a poop shake?
Oh, I do.
Your poop shake is just fiber.
No
poop shake.
Yeah, I put greens, I put fiber, and I put amino acids for flavor.
James Perrin. Wait, before you answer. James Perrin says, does Logan own a chair? I totally didn't realize you're sitting on the ground.
On the floor.
Why are you sitting on the ground?
All this money getting out of jail.
Well, I'm charging my phone.
You're spending all the money on fucking weed. You don't have a chair.
So you're doing fine, Logan.
All right. What's your shit shake, Paul? Tell everybody.
Greens, Metamucil, and amino acids.
Why do you have a distended stomach then?
I don't think I do. It's gotten a little bit thicker over the years, but I wouldn't call it distended.
I'm just fucking with you. So greens, fiber, and what else?
And amino acids for flavor.
Amino acids for flavor. Do you think that works, Justin?
Well, I was going to ask, do you think you wouldn't poop if you didn't have that shake?
I wouldn't poop as freely. I know that much.
He would never shit. He would never shit again, dude.
I would never shit as freely. I know that.
My only means of release is this shake.
I do it. Okay, so I told Fouad this. It's I do it before my last meal of the day, and then at times it's just perfectly. When I wake up in the morning, I have a nice smooth movement, and then I'm good to go.
Anyway. Try it.
No, but not like this though. Not like this.
This is all Roman's fault. If you want the truth, Roman sent me a diet like I don't know how long ago was that, Roman? Like 7 fucking years ago.
When you did the Olympia.
I don't remember. Oh, that was a fucking 2008. Okay, so Roman.
No. Not the Olympia. The Arnold.
Oh, that's 17? Oh, the last. No. He was before that. It must have been 14. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Roman sends me his diet, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then he tells me, he's like, you got to do psyllium husk before bed. And for those psyllium husk is same thing as fiber, right? So, or it's fiber. Anyway, so he's like, you got to do a psyllium husk shake before bed. So I tell Paul Roman's diet, and I'm like, yeah. He said, yeah, you got to do a psyllium husk shake. So Paul starts doing the psyllium husk shake, and fucking for the rest of my life, I got to hear about psyllium husk and how great it is. He's not doing your diet anymore, Rome. He just eats garbage. This is Paul's recipe. He'll eat like a bag of cookies, and then he'll fucking drink a psyllium husk shake, and he'll be like in the morning, he's like, I just shit it all out. I don't gain any weight.
I think metformin too, Fred. You forgot the metformin part of the formula. The metformin shuttles the carbs to the glycogen stores.
Remember our theory, Paul? Paul's theory is like you eat, and then you take metformin and fiber, and your body splits the cookies into shit for the fiber, and the metformin takes the rest and puts it in the muscle.
Yes,
that's his you don't gain any fat from it. It's perfect.
MF6. Metformin, fiber, 6 meals.
Are you taking on clients, Paul?
Sorry?
I might make the jump.
I'll tell you, Justin, give it a try in the off season.
Paul's going to create his own system. It's called MF6. It's like metformin, fiber, 6 meals. It's a new thing. MF6.
That's how you stay full and lean.
Oh my God. Anyway, okay, we'll do one more and then we'll go because Roman wanted one more. That's too serious. That's not serious. When's Paul going to be back on the podcast? He's here. Should anyone ever wear lifting gloves?
Ronnie Coleman did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I only get annoyed when I see people wearing lifting gloves and doing legs. That's the only time I get annoyed. Yeah. I literally have seen guys sitting on a leg press with lifting gloves on, and I'm like,
what about a guy who's wearing a belt for doing arms?
That I can understand. Because what if you're trying to do the whole waist thing, like trying to keep my waist in?
If it's for the waist thing, okay, but what else? I don't know why else you would do it.
Why do you need to brace into a belt for a cable curl?
No, not brace. Right. I'm saying like some guys wear a belt to like just so they can hold their stomach in while they're training.
So you like a waist trainer. So then you're not using a belt.
No, you're not using the belt. Yeah, exactly. It's just more for waist training.
Well, that's even stupider, I think.
What?
I think that's even dumber then.
Why?
Well,
what's wrong with controlling your waist while you train?
But you know, if you want to wear a waist trainer, wear a waist trainer. Like I think just walking around on an arm day with a belt on that you're trying to use as a waist trainer, it just seems silly.
I've done it.
No, I've never seen you do it.
Yeah, remember Hani? Remember I worked with Hani? Hani literally told me, he's like, I want you to wear your belt every single day. When you walk in the gym, put it on, don't take it off till you leave. And it actually works. It like I would keep my stomach in, and by the time I left the gym, my waist would feel, obviously it doesn't shrink your waist, but my waist would feel tighter because I was flexing the whole time. It's the same premise as a waist trainer, like you said.
Yeah, that was before waist trainers.
That was before waist trainers.
You see those kids that have it just cinched down the whole workout that are walking around training arms and posing. Make their waist small and look more aesthetic. Yeah, that's silly.
Well, remember we seen guys with wrist straps who had doing lateral raises.
Yeah,
dude.
I have not wrist straps, lifting straps.
No. Lifting straps.
Lifting straps. So, like,
doing lateral raises. Fly to your hands.
I have seen someone strap in on a squat.
What? Really? That's like worse.
That's stupid. Yeah.
And then he failed, and he sat in the hole.
Oh my god!
And his training partner said, "Just let go of the bar."
You can't.
I can't.
Oh my god!
Strapped into the bar.
Man.
Yeah, he's strapped in.
Oh wow!
Oh, why would you do that?
That's silly.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. One moment in your career that you wish you could relive.
When I won my pro card, when I won my third pro card, that is, on stage, because I don't remember anything, basically from that whole day.
Yeah, you know, I find that sucks sometimes too when you're so focused on something, and then it comes and you do it, and it's like a fucking blur. You can't remember shit. That's like my whole career.
I remember passing out twice, but that's about it.
Okay, this is what?
You're the only reason I actually remember my whole entire pro card winning show, because you told me your story, how you didn't remember anything.
That's right. Yeah.
So you're the only I remember mine, because you told me to actually sit back and enjoy it.
Well, yeah, because I honestly don't remember shit from most of my career, because I was so focused on trying to be better that I would never take stock of like what the fuck was actually happening.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a better one for the end. Jamie, you can start with this one, because you're half asleep, so I'm going to go to you first.
I just look half asleep. My message says open your eyes all the time, but I can't. It must be like from Ben's origin.
What's a guilty pleasure of yours that you think no one would guess or that no one knows about?
Oh shit.
What's something you do in private that you're like, if people knew I did this, they would laugh their fucking ass off at me?
My wife always tells me off for watching people getting fisted, but
I wasn't expecting that.
I guess, I'm not the only one, surely.
I wasn't expecting that either.
And genuine, you really like watching people get fisted?
Wait a second. No, we have to explore this. Wait a second. We have to explore this. You like watching fisting?
Yeah, I like you watch what you can't have yourself, right?
In which hole?
But do you want to fist?
The wife won't fist you?
Listen, I don't want no fists.
But do you want to give? You want to give a fist
to do the fisting?
I just find it interesting. That thing shouldn't go in a small what looks like a small hole.
I did it once. Not with my wife, actually.
You did it once?
I did it once, but not with my wife.
In the butt? In the butt or in the pussy?
In the pussy. I told her that, and she said, like, that's exactly what she said. This thing, yeah.
Wait,
she's tiny.
Wait. Why did you tell your wife?
Yeah, because we talk about stuff like that.
So like just came up in conversation. She's like, "Have you ever fisted someone?" And you're like, "Yeah."
We were talking. We were talking about. For example, conversation would go like this. We talk about drugs, anabolics and stuff, or she shows me some girl on Instagram, and I said, yeah, I had one with a clit just as big as hers, and then and then the conversation evolves, and then it's like, and then talking about big clits, and
and then it went to fisting.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Casual.
Naturally.
Casual.
Logan, do you want to fist?
Do I want to fist?
Not get fisted. Do you want to give a fist?
I've actually never had interest in either one of them.
I think I have the best hand for the fisting. This is aerodynamic.
I forgot about that.
What happened
in there?
Tell them what happened, Justin.
I had meningitis when I was 17 and had sepsis and lost 3 of my fingers. I was in a coma.
No way.
Yeah, I was in a coma for 2 weeks, and
man,
yeah, it's
holy shit.
Serious ordeal. Yeah.
So have you ever used it as a fist?
Nope.
Do you want to?
I know, it's a shame. I should. I haven't. I mean, now I want to.
Now that we're talking about it, you're like, that's a good idea.
I haven't given it much thought now.
It's a streamlined fist.
Jamie, you added to Justin's peak interest of what he wants to do in his life.
If only I can see people's search engines tomorrow.
What would you type in what do you type in? Just fisting, or do you type in fisting women? Do you have fisting assholes? Like, what do you type in?
Yeah, anal
fisting.
Anal fisting.
Jamie, you're fucked up, man.
Elbow deep.
I have no desire. That doesn't do anything for me.
No,
nothing. I'm like, that's got to be so painful. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I know, yeah.
He likes it. He's like, I know. Roman, what's one thing that if people knew, they'd be like, what the fuck? Or I couldn't see that happening.
I don't know. I think I'm at a point where people can imagine anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's true too. There's not much you could say that people will be like, wow. They'd be like,
yeah.
Well, do you listen to like slow music or something? Maybe listen to Mariah Carey. Like, it doesn't have to be sex.
I play Pokemon.
Play Pokemon. That doesn't seem weird for you either.
I'm surprised.
Logan, anything?
No, I'm pretty fucking weird and I'm pretty open about it. So I'm trying to think about one.
Justin?
I can't think of a damn thing. I'm perfectly normal. I do no weird stuff.
I watch The View sometimes.
Do you?
Not so much anymore. I used to, and then I'm like, this is fucking stupid. And I stopped watching it. But I did for a while, and I was like, I don't think people would think that was cool if I watched The View. I also I used to watch Oprah religiously as well.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. That's a weird. It's not as good as fisting, but it's a weird thing.
What is this is actually
because Oprah's
maybe a good question.
What were you going to say, Jamie?
I was going to say, is that because Oprah's partial?
He's blended. What do you say, Roman?
What is the first thing that comes up in your search engine?
I'm scared.
Or let's say the first thing you haven't searched work related.
What letter do you want me to type in? And I'll tell you what comes up first.
P.
H?
P.
P? P. Prowl score. That's boring. Okay. It's related to kidney. Any other letters?
What do you got?
Let's do C. Charlie.
Well, Carlos Thomas, the bodybuilder, just came up, and then Chris Bumstead after that.
Ah, shit.
Are you on Google?
I'm
Give
on
us
Google,
the top 10.
I don't know how to do the top 10.
F.
Oh, if I just click it, it's Carlos. It's all the people we just searched.
Yeah, your most recent.
It's all the people we just searched. Yeah, mine's boring. Sorry, guys. I don't have any like disgusting shit.
I was hoping for cum shots or something.
I know you were. As soon as you said C, I'm like, motherfucker. I thought it was going to come up too. I'm like, shit.
That's the first thing that would come up in my search engine.
Yeah. Cum shots? That's the first thing you search?
Cum shots.
Yeah.
Is that your go-to? Is that your go-to porn search?
That's my go-to category. Yeah.
You like you like the montages, don't you?
The compilation.
Compilation.
Yeah. Cum shot compilation. Yes.
Roman, you're so predictable, man. It's fucking great. All right. We're going to go. It's been like 2.5 hours. Gentlemen, thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.